Today, we have Grammy and Golden Globe-nominated artist, singer, songwriter, and actor, the one, the only, the amazing Frank Stallone, joined by elite celebrity trainer Alex Jamal. We have a great show lineup today. Joining me today, we have Lily Yu.
Thank you.
From Liqua Vita, and our special guest. Thank you so much for joining us and taking the time out of your busy schedules. Alex Jamal, good friend, elite trainer, celebrity trainer, and the one and only awesome Frank Stallone. Thank you, Frank and Alex, for joining us today. Looking forward to our show. So how's that out there on the West Coast right now? What's the weather like? I love the backdrop there. It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Well, the weather was rainy a few days. It's okay today, but it'll start raining again on Sunday for probably the next week. And we definitely need the rain here because, in California, we have a tendency to have quite a few fires. So
unbelievable. It's incredible. Yeah. So many.
And Gold's Gym is not air conditioned or heated. So
that's always pleasant.
Basically a warehouse. Yeah.
Keep it real.
So did you guys get your training in today? Yeah.
Not today. Not today. I had to visit my dentist. So usually I was going from 5 days a week, sometimes 6. Now I'm down to 3, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I find I get better results that way. When I started working out in 1970, I remember later on reading Franco's book and Frank Zane. And they basically said, dude, each body part, whatever you're training, 3 sets, 8 reps. That's what they did.
Yeah, back in the great days, the good old days, those guys were amazing. Franco and Frank Zane, of course. Yeah, those were great days.
I think people overtrain today. I mean, I just think they stay in the gym too long. We're in the gym. If we don't do cardio, we're in the gym and out with an hour? Maybe an hour.
And Frank, how long have you and Alex been working out or training together?
A few years. A few years because, I've been working out, like I said, for over 50 some years. So I know how to work out. I know how to train. But I always feel it's easier with someone to work out with.
Yes, 100%.
Sure.
When I started, it was the era before the trainer, so-called. And just when 3 guys would get together or working out and you'd read Muscle and Fitness or Iron Man, you go, oh, this looks pretty good. And that's how you do it. And we just, you learn on the job, and there's some older bodybuilders around. When I was in New York, I used to go to Dan Laurie's gym.
Oh, yes. I remember.
Yeah, $24 a year, I think it was.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous. And, once in a while, a celebrity like Reg Park would come in or something like that and train. It was a nice gym. But, in those days, there was maybe only 2 or 3 gyms in all of Manhattan. There was I don't even, Mid-City might have been there, but there was a big YMCA, and there was a Jack LaLanne's, and I think a Vic Tanny's.
Where in the city, Frank? Where in the city were you?
Right in the central Manhattan. I think it was 52nd Street and 2nd. Yeah. And there was no supplements then. The only thing we had then was Progest or Bob Hoffman's powder.
Yeah, you really have to try to figure it out. That's why it's awesome that you're with A-lister over there, Mr. Jamal, who knows so much about diet, nutrition, supplementation, and Alex. So first, I know you really are elite. I don't use that word lightly. I mean, I'm grateful for our friendship, of course, and the many conversations on nutrition, diet, and supplementation. Going to the events throughout the country, the Olympia, Arnold, the A4M.
Yeah.
But so when you're training Frank, what kind of program did you put together for him, or strength-wise and nutrition-wise? What kind of do you do meal plans as well, or?
Yeah. Well, first we used to do, like, as he said, 5 days, and then a day we could, if we are both of him and I available, we just go and do some cardio and work on his endurance and wind. And then now, because of his busy schedule, which is I'm happy for it. We do 3 days. So we do the weight training first, and then we do any type of cardio. We maybe a seated bike or just and we go walk uphill, or like we just try to do some sprints. Sometimes I make him push the sled.
Sled, yeah, yeah.
The good old sled.
I love the sled. Yeah.
Yeah. So Frank always has been like on his nutrition. Like maybe on the weekend, okay, he'll take a slice or two of pizza or something, but then
Maybe a whole pizza.
yeah.
I'm right with you on that one. A slice or two. Or
But then he's back on track. He's
Exactly.
never like
You know, I work with a hormone specialist, Dr. Shanlickian, called Genomedics. So I'm on testosterone, very well regimented. Not some people take too much, you know. And I remember I was with someone else, and I was definitely over prescribed. So I do that, and I take peptides. Yeah, peptides. Yeah,
peptides.
Amazing.
And you know, it's funny though. I mean, Alex will tell you, I got very sick last year. I was viral pneumonia. It was hard. I was in the hospital. I mean, I thought I was going to die. I couldn't breathe. We were at the gym. I said, Alex, I feel like I'm just going to drop dead. I just all of a sudden couldn't breathe, you know? And so they had me on this horrible drug, prednisone. And I was on for like 6 months, about 8,000 milligrams at the end. My hair was falling. It was horrible. But the weird thing was, I was averaging about 206 pounds, 204, which I really didn't like for myself. And prednisone is supposed to make your face blow up and get fat. I lost like 23 pounds.
From 206? From 206 down?
Yeah. I'm like about 186, 180, between 185 and 188. I haven't broken 190 in a long time. So that was the only gift. And then I found out, you know, I didn't have COPD or emphysema or lung cancer or anything like that. I found out it was just like a fibrosis. It's just, so when he says we work on the endurance, that's what I work on. You know, I don't go crazy. You know, I mean, I see these guys sitting there running and I don't know, getting all, we just put it on 15 on the incline and walk for 20 minutes, half an hour. You know, I'll be 74 in July, you know, so I can't.
Awesome, Frank. Awesome.
I can't
amazing.
beat myself up. My mother worked out till the day she died. She was 2 months shy of 99.
Oh, wow.
She did Pilates. You know, we go way back with that stuff. You know, my mother used to have a TV show in the 50s lifting weights called Barbellas when it was kinescopes. It wasn't even like
awesome.
Yeah. So, and we had a set of York barbells in the basement. My brother, you know, he was a skinny kid. So he started again with the neighborhood guys. We were the only guys that no one had weights in those days.
So remember the weights back then, Frank, the plastic coating, cement filled?
Yeah, these were before. These were actually Iron York.
Iron York.
The show was sponsored by York Barbells.
Yeah.
So we had a whole barbell set. We had this like incline bench that was wood covered with like red vinyl and like tacks. And we had dumbbells and barbells and stuff. And we had it in the basement. My brother, as you probably heard, was very influenced by Steve Reeves. So this is back in Silver Spring, Maryland, where I grew up. And that's what they used to do. You know, I mean, they probably had, 12-inch arms in those days, they were kids. And so just went from there. And, I was more into my rock and roll music stuff. So I was always kind of thin anyway. But I remember I broke up with a girl. It wasn't even a girlfriend, but I was just heartbroken over it. So I goes, there, you got to start working out. So about 1970, I started really getting into it, and I felt it was the best thing I ever did,
Yeah, there's no question. But I do want to touch on what you said earlier, which I think is a key point and which I think is not emphasized enough, is recovery, basically. You're saying you scale down at 3 times a week, and I don't think enough emphasis is on recovery. And as you mentioned, you work with a doctor, you're getting the hormones checked and everything else, and work with Alex. Alex knows, we have a mutual friend, Dr. Goldman, who has this big anti-aging conference, and it's all about education and raising awareness. But in regards to recovery, Frank, Lily here, as I mentioned, she has a Liquid Vita. So I was just over there the other day. What packet did I do?
Well, you did the signature drip,
and-
which had all of the B12, B complex for energy clarity, your immune system for vitamin C.
So do you do that, Frank? That type
minerals,
of the IV drip? Do you do the IV drips?
Vitamin nutrient hydrations.
I've done IV drips and I've done methylene blue. The oh God, my mind is blanking out. Maybe I should give them some
NAD.
yeah, and did the IV drips on the ozone. I've done that
Ozone
a few
therapy.
times, and and I take a product called Cardio Miracle because I think nitric oxide is very important.
Nitric oxide is huge. Huge.
Yeah, it's really becoming. Well, I find when I take it, and I'm sure probably the same properties in her product, I think it just opens up your blood flow a little bit.
Exactly.
And we're so mineral deficient and everything like that, so do you have minerals and stuff in your?
Our signature drip has trace minerals like the magnesium, the zinc, the potassiums,
Very important.
amino acids, glutathione. That's an amazing antioxidant too.
Alex,
take it
Alex,
as
talk about glutathione, Alex. Explain to the people the importance of
Best
glutathione.
thing. The best thing.
Yeah.
Actually, since I started using it, I really feel my mind is clearer.
Is that an IV infusion glutathione, or you take it in a?
Shot.
No, the one you suggested, I think it's
Oh,
something.
you do. You do.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And you know what I like about it? It helps you to protect your immune system.
Yeah.
And Frank used it after it helps him in the recovery.
Oh
great
yeah.
for inflammation as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
Inflammation
Yeah.
is like
That's the killer.
That's the killer.
That's the killer.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a horseman my whole life, played polo and stuff, and then I was a boxer. So I have some
43 fights.
How many, Frank? How many fights did you have? I thought
43.
33 fights.
If it was 43, I probably wouldn't be able to talk to you right now. But I mean, yeah, and that was one of the greatest things I ever got into, boxing in the amateurs, because it's just kind of, you're on your own in a way. You have to go out and do road work. You have to do stuff because.
When did you start boxing, Frank?
Oh, we're talking 70s, early 70s.
Early 70s.
Long time ago.
Yeah,
and
love boxing.
it's a really good discipline, like anything, like bodybuilding, because you have to, you can't phone it in or you'll get your brains knocked out. But the thing is, so I do have some arthritis, a smidgen minuscule tear in the rotator cuff. So I've been doing a lot of red light therapy.
I was going to ask you about that red light therapy. Do you do the red light therapy?
Oh, on the bed, it looks kind of like a tanning bed.
Right.
Right.
And it's really amazing. I mean,
so you found that helped you? That's helping you?
Oh yeah, because Alex will tell you, I was like 2 days away from getting my shoulder operated on and my lower back. And I find, for 12 minutes a day under that intense red light, it goes very deep into your body. But I think it must be working because my shoulder feels pretty good.
12 minutes a day, every day?
If I could, I would. Yeah.
So what is it normally? What's your average? 12 minutes a day,
12 minutes, 2, 3, 4 days a week if I can. And if I had a bigger place, I'd buy one. Jump in it. I mean, look, it's pretty amazing. The photo bio. It's kind of, it's an interesting concept. I think it's especially for we're talking about like joint pain.
Yeah.
Oh God. I mean, so many people, even people that just work out minimally have
joint pains,
lower back pain. I mean, it just comes with, and you get older.
I think that's part of the recovery too, the red light therapy. That's, part of the protocol.
Photobiomodulation. Yeah, it's really, I think it's a thing of the future. And I think everything, the infusions, I think it all works.
comes together, right? You mentioned peptide, that you're doing peptide. There's one that's great for joint and inflammation, BPC. 157, that's a great one for like workout, quick recovery. A lot of our athletes love doing that, with their CJC.
TB500 and BBC. both together. They really help.
TB500, yep, that's a sister chain aminos.
IGF-1.
Yeah.
IGF-1. Yeah, I mean, so I have mine. I take the peptides every day. I inject it every day. I pre-filled
syringes, insulin syringes.
Insulin syringes, yeah. And makes a difference. I see these kids in the gym, talking this. I said, well, you know what? Here's the difference. Of course, I'll be on, and we always talk after the workout some days through videos. And people go, you look pretty good for an old boomer. I said, really? Well, I'll tell you what. I've been 25. You ain't been 74. So
let's start there.
I said, you don't look that good now, kid, at 25. So let's add 50 years on that and see how you're doing. But I always felt, I was into vitamins. I was into that in the early 70s. Like, seriously, in New York City, maybe 2 vitamin stores. And so I was always into it. My mother was like, don't eat candy. Here, throw me an apple. Have some grapes. So, and my mother and father, God rest their souls, my father lived to 92, mother 99. And my mother just died in her sleep. My father, he got sick a little later on, but he was very active in his 90s. He had a farm, he had the horses and stuff like that. I think activity has a lot to do with stuff.
Lifestyle,
people that sit on the rear end just trying to make more money, they end up having a lot of money, but they can't walk or anything. They're just like stenosis and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So I believe in I try all different avenues.
Do you do the cryotherapy?
I have done it, yes.
What about the cold plunge first thing in the morning?
Yeah. Well, I'll just do the cold shower for now. But you know what?
Do you like that, Frank? Do you look forward to the cold shower?
Oh.
Well, not really, but I know.
I don't. I don't.
Like Dr. Harhari, a friend of mine, when I go for the stem pulse, he jumps in that thing every morning. And after a while, I guess you get used to it. I mean, you stay in it, 2 minutes, a minute. But they say it actually does a lot for you.
I believe it. I believe that's why it sort of gets you right on track in the beginning of the day mentally, because I sit there first. It used to be I ease my way out of bed, look forward to getting into the nice warm shower. Now it's like, shit, I don't want to do this right now. And I just stay there. I put it on cold, and I shake my head. I don't want to do it, but I do it anyway. So I get in that mindset. It's doing something you just don't want to do, but you do it anyway.
Right.
And then you endure it. Like you said, it's 2 minutes. And it's the worst 2 minutes of the day. I just dread it. But then I use that as my source for later on. Like, you don't want to do it. The things that you don't want to do, you do it anyway. Alex, you do the cold shower?
Yeah, I'll do a cold shower. First of all, the cold shower, actually, when you wash your hair, it's good for your hair. It kind of,
I think it's good for everything.
It's great. It tightens your skin. My cold plunge is when my hot tub isn't working right, and I'm going in, and it's like not the bath water temperature.
The plunge?
No, like I'm literally in my hot tub, and it's cold. That's my cold plunge for the morning.
Yeah, the shower. That's pro ball.
Yes.
I'm in the minor leagues. I'm going to stay with the shower.
Yeah, I would suggest guys posing in a Speedo after the cold plunge. It's not the best look you could have. You're not going to impress anybody at that point. But I think it's good. I look at women now and women of my era, and you see women now in their 50s that really almost look better than women in the 30s.
Yeah.
I mean, they're changing now. They're learning. I mean, when I was a kid, they had the woman's gym, which was kind of the vibrating belt, stuff like that. And then they had the men's gym. But I mean, if you see now, I mean, I kind of like more the Rachel McLeish, Corey Everson look.
Right.
I mean, they would probably be considered more like fitness models now, but they had a nice figure.
They did.
Some of the girls now are just
feminine.
Over the top.
Yeah.
It's just too much. When their voices are deeper than mine, I have to be suspect.
That's a tough follow.
Yes.
That's a tough follow. Yeah.
Like when Jim Carrey used that thing on Living Color, that girl, the female.
Oh.
I mean,
that's
I don't find
stuff.
that. Yeah, I just don't find that attractive. And I think, I mean, honestly, I've seen women in their 60s. I mean, that really look good.
They look phenomenal. Yeah. Look phenomenal.
Yeah. And they're, and it's like yesterday, I did a post yesterday on my Instagram. It was pouring rain.
Yeah.
Pouring rain.
I was going to talk about that.
Yeah. And I get up and I zip up my thing and I go there. I had the umbrella and I'm walking the goals and my feet are submerged in the water. I don't wear socks with my sneakers. So I'm freezing. I go in there and I'm doing a video as I walk. I said, okay, I don't want to hear any excuses from anybody. I'm 73 years old, on my way to 74. It's early in the morning, and it is cold, and it's torrential rain, as you can hear on my umbrella. So, yeah, would I rather lay in bed and watch an old movie? Yeah, but I can do that later. So,
that's a post, Frank. I can see this later. That's a post you put out there.
Yeah, it's on my Instagram.
I'm gonna check that out. Yeah,
Stallone, and you only going to get out what you put in. I mean,
right.
One of the things I hear what women say a lot, and it just makes me laugh. Like they've never worked out, and here's their first thing: well, I don't want to get bulky muscles.
Right.
I said, well, the last time I heard you can't tone fat, you can tone muscle.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you get some muscle first and then worry about it? And second of all, I don't want to look like her. I said, first of all, you're never going to look like her.
Right.
Those women like that are like kind of genetic freaks to begin with. They got great calves and stuff. So I said, just get some muscle. Muscle burns fat.
Yeah.
Period. But stop with the, I don't want to get bulky muscles. Yeah, my son said that. I said, don't worry, you never will. Yeah.
How many kids you have, Frank?
I don't know. I have one that I know. I mean, 57 years of rock and roll and never being married.
We have a few more Stallones floating around out there.
Yeah.
Johnny Appleseed, who knows? But I mean, the thing is, but I'm sure she knows that a lot of women can, I don't want to get bulky.
Oh my gosh. I'm on a peptide to build muscle. It's very hard for women to build muscle. Stop it with the excuses. Like, you're not going to be bulking up anytime soon if you're not, trained to do that. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So Frank, go ahead, Alex.
Let me say something about muscles. So I made a quick post before, but it's important to emphasize on this. So as we age, after the age of 30, if you're not someone who work out, you lose around 7 to 10% of your muscles.
Yeah.
And after 40, you lose again. So if you think by the age of 50, how much muscles you lost, and muscles are hard to earn and they're hard to keep. So if your diet is not good during these years, that's why you look at yourself at the age, I'm sorry, but just the reality of it. If a normal person looked at his self at the age of 50, he saw like, skin are sagged or stuff like that. That's because, first of all, they didn't do any resistance training. Second, their diet wasn't good in protein, and it wasn't enough to preserve the muscles.
Right.
So talking about, I don't want to, for men or women, I don't want to get big, or I don't want to look like that or like this. It's very hard. It's a lot of dedication, but it's not impossible. Like the four of us work out, the four of us eat healthy, and we are happy about it, and we do it regardless. So it's very important to at least do 3 days of resistance training and eat good nutritious food with high protein.
And not stay at the same weight all the time.
Right.
I've seen people, I said, I see you here all the time. You've never changed your weight. You've never changed, and you have no gains. I mean, and I think it's embarrassing for a professional trainer to have a client like that.
I was just going to say that,
What makes the trainer look bad? They go, you're here 4 days a week. You've been here 6 months.
For 5 years.
Yeah, not one gain.
Yeah.
I mean, you should start seeing, if you're training properly with the right trainer and listening, you should start seeing some gains within 4 months. Something. You'll start seeing a little more definition or something. But again, no one ever said it's easy.
No, it's not easy. It's work. It's work, and you have to do the things that you don't want to do. Like you said, Frank, when you went walking to the gym, cold, rainy, do you want to be there? I don't want to be there, but I do it anyway because I know how it's going to make me feel later on.
Later on today, it's funny. I'm a competitive shooter. I shoot trap, and a friend of mine, Alan, was a world champion trap shooter. He says, I used to shoot every day. Rain, snow, wind. I said, why? He goes, because I know the other guys weren't. So when he goes to an event, they don't stop an event because it's trickling. He goes, I always won because I prepared myself and I dedicated myself to do this. And like with bodybuilding or fitness, you don't have to be a crazed maniac with it. The old thing is like, hey, the guy looks real fit. You don't have to have like the greatest, 8-pack and stuff, but you can be fit looking. So your clothes drape on you, and you feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And it affects, of course, you know, your moods, your mindset, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, the whole gamut. But I think the hardest thing for people is, like anything else, is developing that habit, creating that new habit. If they're not working out, actually starting the process. So that's why I always said, you know, you're not like when January rolls around and you see all the people in the gym. Many don't know what they're doing. There's no goals. There's no direction. And they think they have to be there for, as you said earlier, Frank, you don't have to be there for an hour and a half, 5 days a week. Small, gradual changes, and just have a plan. Make little goals, realistic goals, achievable goals. Dial in, get your hormones checked, get your blood work done. Let's talk about that, Alex, too, touching on that. How important is the blood work?
Well, it's very important. So once I get a new client, I say, okay, could you please show me your physical the last time you did it? And you know, sadly, sometimes I get clients and they say, oh, I haven't seen the doctor for 3 years. I said, you are on a time bomb. What are you waiting for?
Right.
For you to drop that we go to see your doctor, you should at least do every 6 months or to 12 months the minimum. Your physical. And then nowadays, with all that technology we have, with all the easy thing, like, okay, we have IV drops, we have peptides, we have anti-aging drugs. I mean, what was Frank saying is like, I'm very proud of him, because you'd see he did a huge change at his age, okay? And when we see people coming in for 2 years, the same thing. So there's something wrong here happening. Either not doing your physical and checking what is it, and then
your diet.
Your diet. You have to sit with a consult with a nutritionist. I'm one. There's many people over there, but you have to do your blood work and see what's your levels and how
it's
a good diet will help you. Like you have to high triglyceride, high stuff. You have lack on vitamin D. That's
and you're not going to know that otherwise.
Everyone's deficient.
I was lacking big time with vitamin D. And we talk about minerals. There's an old thing. I mean, in the 70s or late 60s, 70s, just take a sip of this and you can get all your minerals, like a teaspoon of blackstrap molasses. Cheapest stuff out there. So high in potassium and iron. Just people go, and it's like $6. Plantation blackstrap molasses. I was into apple cider vinegar in the 70s. People thought I was nuts. I said, it's not salad vinegar. It's something different.
Right.
Yeah, people, And in apple cider vinegar, all the properties in that are good. I mean, it's not going to hurt you. You know,
Frank, do you take that as a shot or you dilute it?
I dilute it. Yeah, I dilute it. You know, they like 8-ounce glass, maybe a teaspoon. And if it's lukewarm, you put a little honey in it. Just you know, and it's been proven. I mean, it's that frontier medicine. I mean, you know, that's what people did. It's like in the old days when you were sick.
That's how I grew up.
Give castor oil. You know, they give you like now fish oils become like. But you talk to some old timers, they were taking fish oil every day. They get like it was called castor oil or cod. It was terrible. But you know, remember the old movies? All right, open your mouth. You know.
Well, and I think that's because you're also you're in that mindset of prevention. You're taking a daily protocol of things that's going to prevent something from ultimately happening, as opposed to today. You often hear it's sick care, not true health care. You know, it's about prevention, and that's why Liquivita and what they're doing. I'm so
that's great, though. I mean, and you know what? It's so easy to do.
Right.
I mean, it's a powder, correct? And you mix it with water or whatever you want to mix it with.
What are we talking about?
Her product. Do you have?
We would. It's a whole Liquivita journey. You come in. The first thing we do is encourage blood work, just like Alex said. You know, that's Bible. Comprehensive panels.
But also explain, Lily, the difference in Alex to. You know, there's a lot of
vitamins.
The panels, the extensive. I just want to make sure that people understand. There's blood work. It's your blood work. Your labs are 20 pages.
Yeah,
in depth.
20 pages. All kinds of markers. Every deficiency, you know, you can see autoimmune markers, inflammation. Obviously, you'll know if you're, iron deficient and things like that too. Right. Testosterone, hormones, all of that. And then from there, we really tailor and custom drips for everyone.
Custom drips, no
I mean, if
cooking
you're low in
time.
D,
Right,
that's easy. That's a quick vitamin D shot once a month, 50,000 international units done. Or, you know, if nutrients is not, if you're okay with your nutrients and you got to get to the next level of your workout, then now it's peptides. That's really what it comes down to. You know, if you want to lose weight, we're not putting you on phentermine, you know.
Exactly.
We're putting you on a peptide.
Right.
If you have sugar levels or you're diabetic, we're not throwing you on metformin. You're going to be doing a peptide, things that are more alternative to medications.
Right. How often would you say these intravenous drips would you recommend, or is it weekly? Is it monthly? Is it?
A basic hydration you can do weekly if you're working out hard. That's just hydration part of it and some minerals. But if you're doing like the whole works, like what you did when you came in, that's once a month. You know, these vitamins are high dose. That is enough for your body to sustain your immune system and everything.
That's easy.
Right.
And so, taking all the supplements at home, that's the alternative. You come in once a month. It's a cocktail of, a bag.
Fantastic.
And then intravenously.
Great. Wish you had a place out west.
Got to talk to Sam.
I will find you a place out west for you to do some drips.
Yeah, because I think the IV drips are fantastic. You know, especially when you customize the cocktail for this individual, because everyone's body's different.
Yes.
I found I was really low in vitamin D, and my thyroid wasn't working, and so that doesn't mean because your thyroid. That's the big excuse. Hey, I'm 400 pounds because my thyroid. Yeah, right. Okay. But I mean, you can be thin and your thyroid could be off. I mean, it can happen to anybody. Yeah. But I think that's very futuristic. I love the IV drips. Figure it's once a month.
Frank, do you get to New York at all throughout the course of the year?
I haven't been in a while. I don't know if I want. I used to love New York.
Well, yeah, it's sad. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, but Chris Sliwa for mayor again.
Yeah.
Curtis Sliwa for mayor again.
Right. Yeah.
No, but I mean, the funny thing was when I lived in New York with my brother, in those days it was safer, but you could jog in Central Park. I remember there used to be horse stables. People used to ride their horses through Central Park. It was a different time, and you don't have to be rich. This is what people think. Oh, I can't afford Equinox. I can't afford gold. But you could go to LA Fitness or 24-hour fitness. A machine's a machine. I mean, in the old days, Steve Reeves and those guys had maybe barbells, dumbbells, chin-ups.
That's it.
You don't have to be rich to get in shape. I mean, I lived in an $84 a month apartment when I was living in New Jersey in the 70s. You just do it. You get some. You
just need four walls in a room. You don't even. You could torch. You could torch your body with just body weight.
I tell my clients with 2 dumbbells sometimes on the ball in the parquet because the weather is always good. So I tell people all what you need is seriously 2 dumbbells and a rubber band, and maybe a ball. You'd use it as a bench or use it for
push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups. I mean.
It's all really mind, the motivation for you to just do
motivation.
It. That's it.
But I think, Lily, we're talking about. I was telling you the other bit. You have to get on a routine. It's like when I'm getting ready to do an album, I'm going to sit there and look at a blank piece of music paper and say, okay, where do I start? Some days you're sitting there like, duh, looking at this thing because nothing's coming in your head. And then all of a sudden, bang, the flow starts. And you get into a routine. I remember when I was writing for Staying Alive, every day, okay, you have the theme, you know what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, it's a discipline, like anything. Like Billy Joel says, he hates. Well, he doesn't hate, you don't like the end result, but writing, I mean, think about it. You have to create something from nothing that hopefully you'll like and people will enjoy, So it's like anything. I look at the body like a piece of clay. You realistically, what do we have? Endomorph, ectomorph, and mesomorph, right? 3. Some people are just thick. And some people but you can really, if you really put your mind to it, you can mold your body to look like kind of anything you want to. What I noticed, and Alex and I, you'll see a girl there with great legs, right? And all she does is work her legs, but she has no upper body. Arnold, you say you want to work on the part. Your bad parts, not your good parts. The other parts are fine, but you want to work on the parts that need work. You know what I mean? Like your narrow shoulders, start doing, laterals and stuff like that. But if you got great genetic legs, you just got these perfect calves and stuff, you don't have to work them that much. Maybe work them good, strong
once a week.
workout once a week, and then work on the other parts, because you can actually make everything symmetrical.
Yeah, Alex, back in the what's the difference? You know, you and I both, I probably will agree, most likely. But the difference in the bodybuilders today as compared back in the day of Arnold, Frank, and Franco.
I think
The waist.
the waist, yeah. The waist is, I'm against using a huge amount of GH and insulin. Nowadays they use more, which is
They have like a big belly.
Yeah.
In my day, it was like the whole thing of having
yeah.
like a
They were
thin,
they were
lost
more
weight.
wasted, and
Frank
you
Zane.
know, it's
Yeah.
better to do it with a doctor. It's better always to, like, Frank goes to Dr. Giorgio, was trying to get on the show, but he was busy this time. But it's always better to go with blood work and then
Yeah.
through that. Like Dorian Yates did that, by the way. He went through all his career with a doctor. And that's why now you see him, he's 6-time Mr. Olympia. He's okay. No.
Oh, I didn't know that. So Dorian was working closely with the doctor.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was working. He took stuff. He didn't say I didn't, but he
Right.
didn't over do it like nowadays. And you see, and again, you want to do that. You want to be an idol to the people. You don't want to die at this like age of 30 or 40 because of wrong stuff you're
They
doing.
just never get off.
Right?
I mean, they're dropping like
Yeah.
flies. I mean, guys that are like
Young
15
age.
years younger age, just dropping because they never got off, and they're just doing abundance of too much stuff, and it's a lot of strain on your heart. I mean, to walk around, guys my height, they're weighing like 290.
Big
300.
boys. Yeah.
I'm 6 feet, so right, 310. That's a lot of strain on your heart and your arteries and everything. And instead of taking this up, we see some guys in the gym, they're like purple. I mean, their blood pressure has to be off the hook.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's another thing. It's important to
Yeah.
work with a professional.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And know that you want to do that for just a certain
Right.
period of
Yeah.
your life, and then you want to live after,
Right.
Yeah.
and you want to be a good example. You don't want to,
Which comes to the drips.
yeah, the drips.
I mean, that's repair. You have to repair, you know.
Repair, replenish,
Recover,
recover. Yeah. Those are key.
I don't know.
key
Can
words.
any of these women ever? I mean, there's a lot of these women that are on too much stuff. Can they ever reverse it, or is that voice? I mean, is it irreparable damage to probably their reproductive organs and stuff? I don't know. Is that
Alex,
fact?
what about you?
We have everybody go back to the basics when they walk through. Like,
Yeah, you have to
But
get back.
but
You
they
have
can
to get them
change their
back.
that depth of. Do you think they?
I don't know.
The levels has to go back to normal.
Yes, they have to.
And
It
then
has to go back to
You
normal.
have to wait for like post therapy. Sometimes they
That-
be back.
Probably a long time, right?
Women, but
I
can
know some
women
women that have
reverse that
bodybuilt
deep
and-
voice?
I don't know.
I'm just wondering if women can reverse that deep voice and all the other stuff that comes with it.
So you're saying you have seen it
No,
reversed?
I've seen bodybuilder women that
Reversed?
that has it reversed. Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
where they're they're more toned now.
and the voice, if they had a deeper
exactly.
voice,
Mhm.
Yeah.
To a degree.
right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So they go from a bass to a baritone. You know,
Alex, you should have Frank go to one of Dr. Goldman's conferences. Next one's in West Palm Beach, May 3rd and 5th. You like that, Frank? It's all about what we're talking about now. You meet a lot of people in the field, in the world of anti-aging, the red light therapy, the cryotherapy, the hyperbaric chambers.
it's all good.
Yeah.
You can't,
Yeah, he was big on hyperbaric chamber.
Oh, I do the hyperbaric chamber. And it's, there was a study, Joe Namath had serious,
I remember this study. I know what you're talking
that
about. Yeah.
story, and he had serious brain damage.
Brain damage.
from all the
Yeah.
football. And he did about 140 sessions of hyperbaric chamber, and he went back to check with his doctor he was working with on this, and it almost reversed it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like miraculous. So I think ozone, I think it's, again, frontier medicine, oregano oil,
Yeah.
3 drops,
Mm-hmm.
put it on you. It's an antiviral.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. I mean, it's been around I mean, look at Chinese medicine, Asian medicine, been around for thousands of years.
It's interesting you say that, because that's really
we were just talking about that the other day.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, just how I got into this, field.
Of wellness,
and I just grew up holistically, Asian culture, that's what we do. Acupuncture, home remedies. I mean, we might have had a box of Band-Aid in the medicine cabinet, maybe, and that's all we had. Like everything else is just all plant-based things that, you can gather around in your kitchen. That's really what it is.
And it comes...
like I got turned on to Lebanese food. I mean, other than, which rice is not bad for you, but other than
Lebanese
the bread,
food.
it's kebabs. I mean, it was sushi. I mean, if you don't go crazy with the white rice, it's basically pretty raw. I mean, up until recently, if you look, most Asian countries, they were pretty slim. It's now with the introduction of McDonald's, Burger Kings, those countries, you see people now. But when I was a kid, most of the Asians were slim. I mean, when I was in high school, there was maybe 3 fat kids in the whole school. And if you go by a grammar school now, you'll probably, if you can find
it's
one
unreal.
that's not obese.
It's crazy.
And in my day, it was a little different. The 60s, you go, okay, you fatso, get over here in gym class, right? But now, of course, you go to jail for saying the word fat. Anyway, but I mean, I look at it. If you look at films of World War II, these young guys, you don't see any heavy people.
Yeah.
Most of them are kind of wiry because most people did manual labor. Most people couldn't afford to get a great education. So
manual labor is hard to come by these days with these young people, boy. I tell you.
Guys were carpenters, that were steel workers, and that's what they did. And and like we're saying, like Japan, China, most of the work was labor intensive, and they ate their traditional food. I mean, if you go to Asia, what is food? Seafood.
Yep, lots of fish, seafood.
Lots of fish.
I mean, rice is a big staple in our diet, but it's not. We don't overindulge.
The bad thing that we have here is 2 things, actually: processed food and the fried food. So I say always try to stay away from these 2. Right. But the thing is, the accessibility is very easy, and it's sad. Like now in school, I coach after school kids in soccer and basketball. I was looking and said, I told the director, you have to award them with fruits maximum. That you don't give them chips, you don't give them access to donuts. You
don't take them.
We have 6 out of 10 kids are obese, which is more than fat. And that's the crazy part here, because think of those people in 10 years from now.
God.
That's why they find it hard to go to the gym or do an exercise, because already they weren't and the atmosphere of
hypoglycemia. There was a book out in the 70s called Sugar Blues, and people go, "Oh, that's crazy." And you realize the consumption
of sugar,
of pure, processed sugar, and how much it is in all the foods. I'm not talking about a kid that maybe wants to have a Hershey bar once in a while, or have a pizza. I'm talking about people that do it on a consistent basis. There are people that eat McDonald's every day. So when you look at the calories on a double cheeseburger, it's like 1,400 calories.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
And in the morning they had a Pop-Tart or like 2 donuts, and then at night they have a bag of chips.
And who's to blame for that?
Well, of course, they're burned. They put them, but you have to always have the balance. You have to the balance is
oatmeal, right? Not sugar snaps or Lucky Charms. Oatmeal.
Yeah, say if you want some sugar, you could always have some. I mean, for the kids, bananas are great.
Right.
Apples.
One of those bars, like Kind bars, they're not bad.
No, they're not. No, it's fine.
The nuts. We used to have a lot of nuts being Italian. A lot of walnuts around the house. My father used to show off, like, grab 3 walnuts and crack them. Look at that. Big meat hook hands, but that was the thing. I remember as a kid on going over my grandma's, she'd have a big wooden bowl. You'd have tangerines, walnuts, grapes. And Italian food is not bad. I mean, now that you have the option, I eat gluten-free pasta, and I'm Italian. It doesn't taste that much different to me. Of course, you get these guys, no, I didn't like my mother's. I said, well, your mother's 400 pounds, okay? There's a difference. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, when guys growing up Italian neighborhood, hey, Joey's not fat, he's a bull. I said, no, he's fat.
So Frank, what do you have coming up? We have a couple more minutes here. What do you have coming up in the pipeline?
Okay, well, I have a few things. I am not a teetotaler, but this is coming out. This is my bourbon called Uncle Frank's.
Are you a bourbon drinker? I assume you're a bourbon drinker.
Yes.
Uncle
And this
Frank's.
is Uncle Frank's, and it'll be out. You can buy it now at UncleFranksBourbon.com. You can pre-order, but by the middle of February it'll be out. And I got to tell you something.
Cool.
This is really good. This
Alex,
is
you try the
12
bourbon? Did you try the bourbon?
Oh yeah.
Me not.
Forget him. I'll give him like club soda or something. Anyway, this is 80 proof. It's 12-year-old bourbon. It really is good. We don't use we use a cork top.
Made in the USA.
Yeah, and it's made in the USA, and also on Uncle Frank's Bourbon.
So that's UncleFranks.com?
UncleFranksBourbon.com.
UncleFranksBourbon.com.
Bourbon.com. And you can see I have the American flag behind it. So all our products are made here. If you go on the website, UncleFranksBourbon.com, all the clothes are all made here.
They have clothes, hats,
So you have everything.
jackets,
It's got to be.
t-shirts.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I'm a patriotic person. I think it's kind of good to put Americans back to work.
100%.
And, it's like, I don't know, how could I have American flag, Uncle Frank's Bourbon, and it's made in communist China, my clothes?
Yeah.
It does, hello.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Staying true to the red, white, and blue.
Well, yeah. And I mean, and bourbon is different. Everyone has vodka, tequila. Bourbon is something, usually people that are bourbon drinkers are not drunks because you kind of sip it. Like some guys like to have a cigar.
Yeah.
And, bourbon like an old fashioned or something.
Mm-hmm.
Women like it because it's not like you're doing shots and, boiler makers and stuff like that.
Right.
And I find it's you sip it, you don't sit there and do like
Take a shot.
these college kids doing Jägermeister, which is like 90% sugar.
I remember those days.
Oh yeah, and
I've had
Oh,
a few
yeah.
of those.
I have a guitar.
Well, I don't really
company.
remember though.
I do.
I have we have a guitar line, Frank Stallone Guitars, and that's FrankStalloneGuitars.com. All American made in California, and they're moderately priced. I mean, I have so many guitars in my house. I mean, I've been playing for 58 years, and some of the guitars can get really, really, really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And these are moderately priced. They're about $2,000 or something, but they're really well made. They're made here. And, and for me not to give up my Gibson or Fender takes a lot. Trust me. I've been playing my whole life. But I do play it. I mean, I mix it in the show. I have a few guitars I use. But so, the concert, again, I do concerts all over the place. But
I had one recently in Hard Rock.
Yeah, Hard Rock in Florida, and I played the Hard Rock in Atlantic City. I'll be going back there again, probably with the other group, Survivor. I have the Tiger.
Where are you going? In Atlantic City?
That would be the Hard Rock in AC. Yeah.
In AC. When is that scheduled? Is that scheduled?
We don't have it scheduled yet. I was going to play the what's that place called in New York City? Oh. I'll think of it, but it's kind of a small club. But the problem is, I have a 10-piece band,
Mm-hmm.
so playing the casinos, like if I play Mohegan Sun or this or that,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little easier because now these casinos are really geared with backline for groups.
Right.
But in the old days, you had to lug all that stuff around like in a truck, and it's a lot of work. So that, I'm just telling you what's going on. A lot of times, nothing's going on. So I'm just.
Well, do you have a schedule, Frank? Do you have a schedule where, because if you're at Mohegan or Atlantic City, that's close
so
to where I am.
close.
Yeah, I would definitely go.
Yeah, we'll let you know for sure.
We'll let you know. And also, our second season on Paramount Plus called The Family Stallone's coming out in, what's today's date?
Today is the second.
Second. So it'll be out in the 21st.
The 20th.
21st, that's on Paramount.
Paramount Plus. It's our second
Paramount Plus.
season. And I'm in 8 of the 10 shows. I'm Uncle Frank, believe it or not.
Uncle Frank's Bourbon.
Pizzas and stuff.
That's
Yeah.
it.
So I'm kind of like the Ed Norton of the Honeymooners or Kramer of Seinfeld because I'm the one that's never been married. I'm the older uncle. I'm kind of irreverent to everything that comes my way. And, my nieces are young, so they try to be PC.
Mm-hmm.
And, I kind of throw a
French in there.
Oh,
Once in a
yeah, I
while.
just throw a hammer in there. So we're in Italy. I'm the
Yeah.
only one that gets food poisoning,
Yeah.
and everyone's there. No,
True story. True
Yeah,
story.
true
He's
story.
the only one who got it. Everyone else
almost died. So everyone had lobster. My brother goes, I had lobster. She had it. I said, it's not the same lobster. It's like they're bred from the same, like a racehorse. I just got a bad lobster. And man, I got to tell you something. I was in Rome. We shot
That's the worst. That's
a
the
large
worst.
part. We shot a large part of it in Italy because my father. So we went back to my father's town that he grew up in, Bari, in Italy. And all of a sudden, it's like unbelievable. I mean, it's like, so we do this thing where they made us citizens, my brother and I, of Italy. We met the Pope, which will be on the show.
That's pretty cool.
Wow, that's
We had a
wild.
meeting with the Pope.
Oh,
That's
that's
pretty
wild.
heavy. And,
Yeah, that's
and the
heavy.
Vatican
Wow.
actually gave us the right.
That's in this season. That's going to be in this upcoming
This season.
This season.
And I got to tell you, man, being a good Catholic boy, it's pretty heavy. You know, you're sitting there with the Pope, and the Pope tells my brother he saw every Rocky movie. That's pretty interesting right there. So it's that. We go back to my father's town, and the guy goes, "You want to go up and sing? You should sing." I said, "Well, I don't have any band." There's 10,000 people in the square, right? So the night before, they brought in these Italian musicians. I went through a few songs. And they go, Frank, vieni qui, come on, sing. So I sang, my first hit.
Well, don't say the whole episode.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was quite interesting seeing cousins and.
Spoiler alert.
Yes, cousins and stuff. So it's pretty interesting to go back where you're from. And I can see why my grandfather got on a boat and came to America, to tell you the truth. No offense. But I mean, I was there, but watching NFL football in Italian doesn't really get me excited. I'm like trying to brush up on my Italian and things like that. But I think it's going to be a good show. I mean, they spent a lot of money, a lot of time doing this. So
And when is that? When's the first episode air?
February 21st.
February 21st.
So it's coming up. It's
Coming up.
about 2 weeks away, or a little more than that. And so we'll see what happens. I'm kind of really excited about the bourbon because it's something I really, really believe in. And I think it's a great product. I think my guitar is a great product. I just, at this point in my life, I don't want to put my name, not that I'm the most famous guy in the world or anything like that. I just don't want to put my name on something that I don't really believe in.
UncleFranksBourbon.com, people. Go there. Get it.
This is it. You'll
Get
see my smiling face.
Get it and sip it.
Yes.
Get it, sip it, and go there. And again, you can pre-order it now. We have a clothesline. Matter of fact, when it was raining, I was wearing Uncle Frank's windbreaker, the camo windbreaker, which you'll see.
Well, I am gonna reshare that when I get we're done with our show today.
Yeah, it's a motivation.
Yeah. So
That's what I say.
That's great.
Alex,
my
what's coming up with you? Yeah, what's coming up with you? Anything?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be speaking maybe in the next few months and in a couple of events. But if you want to check my website, alexjamal.com or fitnessresultscoach.com, I do nutrition consultation and online training.
Yeah.
He's one of the very best people, Alex
No,
Jamal.
let me tell you, he's a good trainer because he's practical. He doesn't try, like I can't do, for some reason, cables just don't work for me as far as like chest, they just don't. So then we do incline, we do different stuff. Like just a few days ago, we were both a little tired. We came in the gym, said, man, let's just work small muscles. So we worked forearms
and calves and abs
and stuff like that. So you can really mix it up.
Yeah.
Like if you say, man, I don't feel like benching. I don't feel like doing this. Well, do calves, do wrist curls, do, whatever. And then you're out quick, do some abs, do some for the
extensions and curls and tibia, for example. Many people don't train their tibia. That's important for anyone who has a flat feet. We work
or
on
just
the glute.
stretch.
Yeah.
It is a good stretch.
Different stuff.
Guys are concerned with their gut. Girls are concerned with their butt. It's very simple.
It's all about the gut and the butt.
Gut in the butt. I said, that's a good title for a song. Gut in the butt. Butt in the gut.
Do I get credit for that, Frank?
You will. But here's the thing, when you think about it, and the girl goes, I just can't. I said, because you sit on your ass all day. The glute is the biggest muscle in the body. We used to have polo ponies and quarter horses. Look at their ass. That's where the power comes. You look at these running backs in NFL, look at their butts.
Right.
That's where that thrust and power comes from. You know what I mean?
It's glutes and hamstrings.
Yeah,
for-
not
for the
from your
sprint.
calves, just from there.
Right.
And so what do? I said, well, there's a lot of things. Do you notice like with women now are very concerned with their butts? Because
Very
guys
concerned.
are concerned with the
When
gut.
I'm like, your gut is not looking very hot
Yeah.
either. Let's work on
Yeah.
your stomach as well.
Yeah,
Then the
It's
guy
not
can go, well, your butt's not that good either. So, okay, let's go.
yeah.
But the fact is, I mean, when you think about it, it is the largest muscle, probably the most neglected muscle in your body.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, lunges, squats. There's so many things that you can do nowadays.
It has to be everything together balanced. because
really
it's
is.
When muscle compensate, and then you get into lower back injuries or hip injuries
Yeah.
or knee injuries. You
Mhm.
have to always have balance in your muscles, how they're
Yeah.
working,
Right.
and your pelvis is aligned. That's a big subject. But
Like, I
anyway,
don't do squats.
yeah, 'cause
I just never liked the idea of a heavy bar across my vertebrae.
we do leg press because also he has some lower back.
I got some lower
Leg
back.
presses, I think, is
Yeah.
one of the best machines out there for, especially as you get older.
I like unilateral exercises,
Yeah.
especially that in life you'd use one, like you don't walk jumping on 2 feet like
Mhm.
that. You walk like right?
We like the
Right.
hoist machines. I find
Push
it
machines are
fantastic.
great. Yeah,
You know, it seems to kind of work with your body, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's
the
like
hoist-
smooth.
Yes.
yeah. The hoist machines are nice.
And you know, I see guys in gym 57. I said, why are you squatting 560? May I ask you? I mean,
I don't
You're-
squat too much. I squat, but I don't go heavy at all. As a matter of fact, I do the squats last to pre-exhaust the legs totally, completely,
exactly.
and then I just
You
go
know how to
light.
do it.
Mhm.
And it's time under tension. I just go down slow, 1, 2, 3, pause, up
Yeah,
1, 2,
But
3.
you
very
also
lightweight.
know how to do them. Most people don't know how to
Right.
do them. That's why they get hurt.
Yeah.
Or they do
Right.
too much weight. And, you know, I grew up, you know, we had horses and these guys are sitting there. I remember in the old days, seated doing shoulder press. I said, why are you doing that? Probably the heaviest thing you'll ever lift over your head in your life is probably 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Like getting something out of your closet. I mean, you're never
Yeah,
lifting
that's another
something out.
exercise I don't really do too much. Very rarely will I do the overhead press. I use a lot of dumbbells for the shoulders.
Yeah, we do dumbbells.
A lot of dumbbells.
Dumbbells.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because you know what? The shoulder's very vulnerable. It's not that much holding it.
And there's a lot of
together.
wear and tear over the years too. So all of a sudden, you
a
could
lot of wear and tear. And
Highly used.
a guy goes, what do you think's the most attractive thing on a woman? I said, a back. When you see a woman wearing a dress and she's got a nice shaped back,
Mm-hmm.
that's beautiful. I look at the Oscars, I see these gals wearing these gowns, like, you know, like fat back and all. I said, come on, man.
All right,
Show your back.
girls, you heard it right here. Frank Stallone, work on that back. Attack the
On that
back.
fat back. See, in music, it's called fat back on the snare drum, but you don't want that on your back. But the thing is, if you look at some of the old time actresses that at the Oscars,
Mm-hmm.
they were very slim, and I'm not talking like, you know, we have to have giant rear delts. It's just kind of a nice sweep. It's very
Feminine, yeah.
attractive.
Very feminine.
You know, it's pretty attractive, and you know, and I think women are doing a smash up job in the gym. You know, our gym is like everyone comes in with a long face. All these girls come in like this. I said, why are you here? Did your boyfriend say you're fat? Why are you here?
Oh,
You're walking
goodness.
in with a cup of coffee, a newspaper, AirPods in.
Right.
You're not ready to work. Do I ever take my phone out? Hardly ever.
No.
Never. Nothing
Yeah,
in
no,
my
I
ear.
mean, the phone stays in the locker.
Yes.
Phone
Yeah,
stays.
and I
yeah.
talk to people. I don't want music. I'm a musician. I don't need music in my ears to get motivated. And so
Well,
I
it has to be mind muscle connection. So you can't always be changing. You have to be making sure you focus on the exercise and the muscle.
we see it all the time.
Very important.
Exercise, text, exercise. I said, who are you texting at
Yeah.
6 a.m?
Yeah.
You're not a very interesting person, so it's not like people are like waiting to hear news from you at 6 a.m.
I want to know now, in closing, Frank and Alex, being that we're on the subject of the gym, give the listeners a gym to life application. Frank,
Okay.
you're up.
A gym to life application.
So what do you do in the gym? What do you do in the gym that you can apply to life?
I think what I do is the gym. I apply to life. I think discipline, a schedule, and I think showing up on time. Time is money. Time is your time is your life. So I think going there it builds a sense of well self-being, and also structure.
I like that first word, discipline.
Discipline.
People lack discipline, and
It's 3 hours a week.
Right.
Figure if you go 3 days a week, it's maybe all combined,
and that will carry over into other categories of your life. So if you can get that, if you could dial in on that, even though you don't want to do it and you do it anyway, you're enhancing that habit of discipline, which can carry over into other aspects of your life. Awesome words there, Frank.
And
Alex.
Change your life.
And change your life.
Well, if you drink this will change.
And
your
then
life.
post-recovery.
Yeah.
That's the new drip, the Uncle Frank drip.
Lily,
You send that cocktail over here to the East Coast, and we'll send you an IV cocktail over there.
This in your clinic.
Oh, 100%. That's hanging.
Hey, Frank, so did you catch what Lily just said? You send us the Uncle Frank bottle, we're going to send you the drip.
Yeah. You send us your cocktail, we'll send you our cocktail. Okay?
Perfect.
I like that.
love it.
All right, Alex, you are up. We're rolling.
I think one of the most major things that people lack is the mindset. The mindset you could get from going to the gym, as in like going there regardless, doing the exercise, pushing till the end of the session. That will help you in life not to get mad quickly or angry, and not to quit quickly, and be patient. It helped me a lot. Yeah. I mean, I lost my dad. I was 5, and my brother was 10.
Oh, wow.
I've been at the gym for 18 years, and I competed in 10 biggest competition in the world. And all what helped me is my mindset that, okay, life will always change. I have to get done with this, same as I'm. So people will use that mindset that you use in the gym, use it in your life, and you will execute and be successful.
Yeah, and it will change your life. Like Alex says, there was a girl at the gym, and she was actually had a very pretty face, and you can see, but she was overweight. I said, you know what? I know it's not politically correct or anything, but if you lost the weight you need to lose, it will change your life, because something's going on where you're not really focusing on yourself. All of a sudden, you'll look at life different, and people will look at you different.
Yeah.
Say, wow, what an attractive woman. Look at you. Because let's face it, I don't think it's vanity. I think everyone wants to look good. When you buy a racehorse, it's not that it's old cow-hocked old horse. It's like a specimen. And I think when people do that, you are what you carry on yourself. Right. I mean, you are your own advertising.
And that is a trickle effect, 100%. So when you start doing that, but the unfortunate thing is, people will not change until they're willing to change. So
you're not gonna believe. Who's calling me? Lou Ferrigno.
Hey, get him on.
I can't believe it.
The Hulk, the good old Hulk.
The Hulk. I swear to God, that's weird. I haven't heard from Lou in a while. I guess kind of osmosis, something.
Putting out there. Frank, Alex, thank you so much, Frank.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to seeing you one of these days. Hopefully I'll catch you at the concert. I can't wait to take your drip of Uncle Frank. And looking forward to having you on the show again. Thank you so much, Frank and Alex.
Thank you, John.
Thank you so much.
Make sure you check
Nice to
out
meet you.
UncleFranksBourbon.com, and make sure you follow Alex on Instagram at Alex Jamal.
Okay.
Or no, the trainer Alex.
The trainer Alex.
At the trainer Alex. There we go.
God bless, guys.
God bless.
right.
Thanks,
Take
Frank.
care.
Thanks, Alex.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much to our sponsor, Numi Nano Hydrostat Technology. Very much appreciate your support, efforts, and help. And also my awesome, beautiful co-host here, Lily. Great job today,
Got your
Lily.
back.
Thank you very much. And make sure you check out Liquivita. If you're here in Jersey, absolutely. I was there the other day. It's a world-class 5-star facility, team, and leadership. So Rob Fletcher and Lily, check us out.